I don't think so. I think it was transposed from. Yeah, that's one thing I can think of. Registration states the way it is. The K1 can just be whatever. That's the way it is.
Okay, we'll play it by ear. And then do you want that signage?
Okay.
Can you see the flag there?
Yes, ma'am.
Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Providing today's students opportunities to become tomorrow's leaders. We do have a couple of public comments. So I do want to remind those that wish to share that we do need to keep them limited to 3 minutes. Lori Sprague.
2 minutes is about right. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Well, I'm here because I want to share something both meaningful and personal. After much reflection, I've decided that it's time for me to retire from my teaching position at Central Noble again. It's been a tremendous privilege to spend my entire career, over 3 decades, at Central Noble. I've had the opportunity to work alongside truly amazing colleagues, some who are here tonight, people who care deeply about students, who give their time, their energy, and their hearts to this work every single day. The friendships and professional relationships I've had during these years are among the most valuable parts of my career. Most importantly, I've had the honor to work with students of this community, teaching local students, many from families I've known for years, sometimes even generations, has been incredibly rewarding. And I see 2 such students here tonight. Watching young people grow, learn, and find their place in the world is a gift that few professions provide. I'll always be grateful for the trust that families place in teachers to be part of that journey. I also want to thank the present and former school boards for the professional support over the years. I appreciate the time and care that you invest in this district and in the future of our students. Before I close, I do want to address something briefly and clearly. There have been some comments circulating in the community suggesting that my decision to retire is connected to negative remarks or critical statements. I want to be very clear that what has been said is simply incorrect. I would like to set the record straight. I first retired in June of 2024. Last August, Mrs. Hoover contacted me about coming back to cover my own position, 7th grade language arts, for the present school year. Neither of us intended for my position to last beyond this year. I'd also like to clarify that we have a current, capable, and highly qualified media specialist at Central Noble Junior Senior High School. Mrs. Brandy Lay was hired at the start of the school year, and luckily for us, she intends to continue her career with Central Noble in the coming years. It is true that this is the position I was interested in, but now I'm looking forward to retirement and the next chapter in my life, including a grandbaby very soon. I'm allowed to change my mind without it needing to be controversial. As we all know, gossip often grows when people talk a lot and listen a little. I believe it's always better to focus on facts, on respect, and on the positive work being done for our students. I leave this position for the second time with pride and confidence in the people who will continue to work at Central Noble. Our school is full of talented educators, administrators, dedicated staff members, and supportive families. Thank you for allowing me the privilege of serving this community. It has truly been an honor, and I'll always be grateful to have been a small part of this experience.
Thank you, Lori.
Lori, I'd like to say, my kids don't talk about school an awful lot, okay? They don't say anything negative, but the one thing they've always said is positive things about you and their experiences in your classroom. So thank you for all your years and thank you for everything you've done for my family.
And I've never seen anyone sad when they retire to spend time with grandbabies. Next, we have Vicki Jellison.
Hi, I'm just speaking off the cuff tonight, basically positively. Last year, I made a phone call to Mr. Taggart at the primary about potentially not having, or whether they were going to be hosting a Grandparents' Day. And we've gotten an invitation, and I want to thank him very much. I don't know if people inside the building know how incredible that is for grandparents to come in. Once the kids have taken ownership to the classroom, so they need to be in school for a little while. And I think it's very, very important. I've seen hundreds of kids come through my home, and I love to hear kids share what they're doing. And I think it's very important that they know other people besides their parents who make them go to school every day are interested in what they're doing. So thank you very much for scheduling that. I had told him last year, make it simple. We don't need snacks, just let us into that building with our grandchildren. So thank you very much for doing that again. The other point I want to make is, maybe you're going to cover this later in the agenda, but since I don't have an opportunity at that time, you have on here discussion to hold public work sessions, and I'll find out later what you mean by that. But I'm just asking that as we continue to find the answers to the challenges that we have as a corporation, that you listen with your hearts and listen wholeheartedly to what people have to say. I know we have building issues, we need to do some condensing, all those kind of things, and there's no easy answers. There's not an answer that's going to make everyone happy. But I want you to listen to people, listen to the community, listen to parents, listen to the students. And one of my biggest fears, no matter what we do, is how we mix up ages. You know, we brought the second grade over there. In speaking to Mrs. Sprague's rumor, you know, and how the rumor mill and the gossip goes, I've heard talk about maybe doing something different to put another, maybe fourth grade or something. I don't know, and I only believe a little bit of what I hear, but I just think kids have to grow up very quickly and too fast sometimes. And when we mix them with older kids, sometimes that, you know, it can be a good thing, but it can also be a negative thing. So I hope that you take the input that people have and listen diligently to what they have to say. And I will say, I've been attending these meetings, and if you're ordering the weather like we have tonight, it's not keeping me away, but it almost did. But I am appreciating the conversations and the openness that I'm seeing in the last few meetings. So I appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you. Tonight we have a special presentation, CN Elementary, Kayla Bonanno. Thanks. I practiced it.
Before Kayla starts, I'm going to give Radia a shout out. She is doing kind of time and a half at CNE right now while I'm sitting up here, and I just want to thank her for that. She's, along with Trevor and the staff there, doing all they can to keep things afloat. So thanks, Kayla. I appreciate it very much.
No worries. So today, for those that don't know me, my name is Kayla Bonanno. I'm the elementary school counselor. We're actually going to talk about new leadership, our reading progress, and some STEM innovations that we would be working on all year long at CNE. So obviously, Mr. Tipton, a longstanding person in our community for Central Mobile, has taken over for Doc, and I've got to tell you, just update you, it has been a very smooth transition. We've tried very hard to make this transition just for our building, and it has stuck. We've done very well with our teachers and our staff moving forward. Trevor has been great. There's really not a moment we've had any big hiccups that we haven't been able to smooth through. So it's been great having him, and we're lucky to have him here. The next thing we want to talk about, obviously, IREAD scores. This is a huge thing for us. We finished just last 2 weeks, but I do want to remind you that testing, we are going to be testing again. This is just preliminary. So currently there are 79 students in 3rd grade from the spring of 25 when they were in 2nd grade, summer 25, and spring of 26. So far we have a 77% passing rate for those students. The The last score right there, spring of 26, that does include some of my fourth graders that have received a GCE, so those are some of the passing that actually had passing this year. Pretty happy about that. We will be testing the week of May 12th. During that time, in between now and that May 12th, thanks to Mrs. Howard and her wonderful grant writing skills, we will be continuing with a tutoring program that we installed last year that really showed a huge increase in the number of passing rates we were able to do for our third graders. They will also be receiving new title services. We restructured our title services, pulled out the ones that passed, kept the ones that still need to be in, and added some more so that we can get them a little more progress before May. The ones that will be taking it in the summer, obviously, or they will be attending our summer school with the Boys and Girls Club, and we'll be testing them in June of 2026. For our second graders this year, preliminary, we have 47% passing and 23% on track. Now on the screen, you can see that we are right on par with the state. Actually, we're a little ahead of them with the on-track kids. So we're pretty excited about that. And there's a bubble in there in the 20% at risk for our kids. There's a huge bubble right there that are very close to on track. So they will be doing title services as well and IRE tutoring to get them over those little bumps for ready for next year. So we're looking forward to our percentage rates increasing with passing. Over at the elementary, we have a huge number of sensory students. That includes autism, our emotional disabilities room. We have been steadily increasing with small grants throughout the year our sensory needs. We have spinning, we have kettlebells for weight pools, we have blankets, we have cones. We work well with our co-op sensory and OT services that have given us some ideas, and we're steadily continuing to increase those things that we have for our students. In October, we were Prodigy Math Champions for the state of Indiana, which was a huge deal for us. So that entered us into a national competition to possibly get a tech grant for our school, and we'll find out here at the end of the year. Our kids love Prodigy, and once they finish extra math, they're able to do it, and that's one thing they fight over before they continue doing. One thing we've done to increase morale this year, we do Friday rubber duck riddles. And if you've seen our Facebook page, we try to pass them out. Mrs. Halderman was actually our first rubber duck riddle winner for the year. I actually also hide ducks throughout the school, and the teachers have to go find them with their students, and then they play rock, paper, scissors competitions throughout the day to see who gets the most. And they get a prize. Mrs. Halderman got a gift card and something else. So they really love their rubber duck riddles. And then we have Cougar Cup shout-outs that we started this year. That is our early August to October kids. I haven't taken the picture of the other students yet for the year. Those are all kids that either are noticed doing something great, holding the door, kindness, shout-outs, just all the things that they're doing for each other and for our staff and our community and things like that. So they really love to have that as well. What we also started this year, I got a Girls Who Code Club grant, and we started that. I do it during lunch bunch. It's girls, but I also have the boys come in as well. And we learn coding, we get online, we learn all of those sorts of things. We build robots. This is actually a little coding kit. There's a few books that the girls have been reading, and they really enjoy that. On that same path of science, the lovely Mrs. Knox helped me put this together. So for the first week of each month in the library, they participate in hands-on science lessons and demonstrating all the types of variety of science branches. So we've done surface tension, static electricity. The Gidgetarium is coming up. Yep, she's just setting it up. You're more than welcome to come visit us and check that out. It's always one of my favorites. Directions and magnetic poles, moon phases, oxidation. I can't tell you how much these kids love this science and library. March Madness is going on right now. Some of the kids are very upset about which books are winning, and some are really happy. So we're gonna see who wins the end. And then Monarchs, we always have Monarchs at the beginning of the year, and the kids love to let them loose. We have our book fair, which is always a great thing. I know the primary's book fair is coming up. Game time, with Miss Amber doing some games, they love it. The kids wild up there. Recess, we have loved our new swing sets this year. The kids usually fight over them. So we have to have a lot of lines and a lot of patience. And then she added to some more things we've been doing. We have loved having second grade in our school. Mrs. Gamble and Mr. Stump, they are wonderful additions, and we love having them at the elementary. And this is just the last one. We have been doing great this year. There really is no stopping point of what we've been doing together this year and pushing through all the challenges we've had. We've had a really good year at CNE. So, thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, if you guys care, the rubber duck riddles are worse than my bad dad jokes. I'm just saying.
We may have to vote on that. We'll move on to consent items. Approval, there we go, sorry, my line's wrong there. Approval of minutes from the February 16th regular session board meeting. Approval of the February 10th and February 25th payroll and claims from February 17th through March 16th. Personnel, acceptance of resignation of Megan Fennell, SLPA, Scott Reese, junior high track coach. Recommendation to hire spring athletics supervisors, Linford Yoder, Bentley Boots, Samantha Broomball. Spring coaches, Chad Dieter, varsity baseball assistant coach, Jake Quackenbush, JV baseball head coach, Jeremy Dieter, varsity JV baseball assistant coach, Landon Champion, varsity JV baseball assistant coach, Riley Paris, varsity girls track assistant coach. Fall coaches, Samantha Broomball, varsity volleyball head coach, Ashley Laddig, JV volleyball head coach, varsity assistant coach, Kendall Pease, varsity volleyball assistant coach, freshman head coach. May I have a motion?
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Action items. Aaliyah?
Ma'am.
Yes. I didn't see you sneaking.
So you have in front of you a recommendation to raise the extracurricular bus pay. And I do want to just share, basically, Aaliyah can talk about why, but I do want to share that we're in a position to do this because we have not taken as many field trips and because we have more SPV routes or SPV trips for extracurriculars. Aaliyah, do you want to talk about the need for this and maybe why we need to do this?
Yes, sir. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure to formally meet, my name is Aaliyah Zobrist. I am the new transportation director. Through my short tenure here thus far, what I have noticed is that we are at a critical shortage for bus drivers. As I reached into our neighboring districts and then even outward, I contacted 18 districts. They were all at a shortage. So then I looked even more outward. I contacted the state of Florida, all the way down from Georgia, Tennessee, and it is a national bus driver shortage. So it's not just a Central Noble issue. However, through our 3 neighboring districts, our extracurricular pay rate is astronomically lower than theirs. So there has been an issue with retaining experienced drivers, recruiting new drivers at a fair rate, and just being able to simply maintain our, I guess, competitiveness for our pay and fairness of our pay. Now, we have not had to cancel any sports trips. However, we have had to cancel field trips this school year. What I can promise you is that I will be diligent, and if we are able to take a minibus, we will take minibuses. We will save costs whenever we can. We will plan routes for the most effective and shortest route for cost and fuel shortages. However, I do recommend raising the extracurricular hourly pay rate from what it currently is at. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you just tell everyone what that is?
The current rate is $13.50, and I am proposing that and recommending that we raise it to $17 an hour.
Which is still the lowest of the area school districts by 50 cents.
Correct.
Can we afford that?
We have had a budget shortage in that specific area for the last 2 years, as we have not had as many drivers picking up ECA trips. We've sent out more activity buses. So we do have it within our budget to make this budget, to raise this ECA pay rate.
Jason, I would just tell you that we wouldn't bring it forward if we didn't think we could afford it at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, recommendation to approve extracurricular trip pay rate increase. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0.
You should just take a deep breath.
Thank you.
Microphones are really good.
Recommendation to approve a resolution authorizing the negotiation, execution, and delivery of a government lease purchase agreement. Kim Berry.
I'll let Kim start.
Okay. This is for a lease for new Daktronics scoreboards, requested from our athletics department. Just kind of the financial facts, starting off, in 2022, the corporation did pay just under $59,000 for varsity scoreboards that have lasted about 3.5 seasons. One is completely non-functioning and the other two have issues as well. If you take that $59,000 divided by the 3.5 seasons, that comes out to about $16,857 per season, that what we would have paid for those. For our athletics program, they are requesting, especially, I don't know if any of you have attended anything in our main gym recently, but our main gym scoreboard is the one that's completely unfunctioning at this point. They are requesting this 6-year lease for these Daktronics scoreboards. Daktronics is one of the best names in the game for scoreboards. These would come with a 5-year parts warranty, so we would be guaranteed to get more out of these scoreboards than what we have our current scoreboards. It would be a 6-year lease, and just on the financial side of things, it would be a half annual payment from the Corp Athletics budget, their specific athletics budget, and then half from the ECA side of things, the athletics ECA budget. If we're able to, we can pay off the lease at the 3-year mark without penalty, and that would save in some interest. So the worst case scenario, and they should last us about 10 to 15 years. So even if we say 10, that's our worst case scenario, we would see about $9,035 per season with those ones. Just the financials for you guys.
What's the total cost with the interest?
Total cost is $90,354. That's if we couldn't pay it off early.
Right, for over 6 years.
Yep.
And I
So
would,
what are we,
go ahead, John, I'm sorry.
so we are getting, I'm just reading here, one scoreboard for the gym, jumbos or a video board, and then a soccer scoreboard.
Yep.
And that's all figured, so that's all in the 79.
Correct. Yep.
Did we look to see if we could get like a comparable rate from like Nevco or Fair Play or anything like that, or did we just pick Daktronics? Because that's awful expensive.
Yeah, I spoke with Nevco as well. They're all very much in the same price range for what we were looking for. I did not look at Fair Play, but Varsity Scoreboard was, I mean, we had issues with them obviously, but I did talk to them as well. I talked to them a lot before I even talked to utility companies because I just want to get things solved with them, but they're just as expensive. Nevco, I think, was within, maybe they came in like $5,000 or $6,000 lower maybe, but they're not as reputable as the Daktronics. I mean, Daktronics, what we have for the sign up front, I think that Mr. Rose bought, he was the principal here, it's still going, so. They last a long time. They say 10 to 15, but I think it's really more 15 to 20. I mean, with the 5-year warranty and upkeep, I think you'll see the longevity out of it.
Is there a reason we went with a video board? Because I'm just looking at some prices here. I priced a little bit, a few of these out. We're paying $50,000 and $79,000 for a video board. Is there a reason we need a video board as opposed to just getting 2 scoreboards on the side?
Yeah, so the little scoreboard underneath will go away and the video board actually acts as the scoreboard itself. And with the with the ability to sell the advertisements, much like we did this year with the video board that we currently have. We sold advertisements based on it, and that'll help offset a lot of that cost. I already have two companies for sure that are larger amount donations for at least for the spring and in the fall for sure. They'll help offset a lot of that cost. So
What's that number? What's the larger donation?
around 5 for just one of them, and then the other one's probably three or four. So 8,000 would more than cover our half of the cost for the payment of year one at least.
So is that, would that be,
For
would
the
that be
school side.
recurring though? Because you're gonna have to pay $7,500 each year.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, do you have that in your budget for athletics?
Yeah, when we took over the athletics budget this year, it was pretty bare bones, and right now we're up. I think as we sit right now, we have about $40,000 in our account. So we've done a good job of gathering sponsorships and good revenue, concessions and ticket sales and auctions and clothing sales. And it really boosted the budget. So I'm not concerned about not being able to cover our every word.
Will this have staff boards with it?
Yep.
So the one side that has the.
So the
big
one side will
scoreboard-
be fixed like it is now, like it'll look similar to that one, except it's digital, so you can control, we're playing Woodland, and we can say Woodland and put it.
Right.
So, but the video board actually will have the stat components on it, have the stats, you can have live video that goes with it. The scoreboards that you see that have the side panel and these numbers,
Yeah.
all that's incorporated into the video board, and then also just runs off an iPad. You don't have to shuffle, controllers back and forth everywhere. It's all synchronous.
Are those gonna be shot clock compliant?
Like shot clock compliant?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they are already.
yeah. If we put a shot clock up, yeah, they could be, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, everything that Zachtronics makes is.
is all compliant with all that, because 10 to 20 years, 10 to 15, I assume at some point there's probably gonna be shot clocks.
Yeah, like sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Nice people dribbling the clock out with 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And that's something I'm looking into as well as the light that go on the backboard. So.
Well, this comes down to doing things right the first time, right?
Yeah.
And we avoided this years ago and done it right the first time, we wouldn't be in this mode now. Like, there's a lot to be said for spending the money where it needs to be spent.
Right.
On good things, so.
We put our junior high basketball tournament that we hosted for the first round with that little tiny scoreboard, because the big one didn't work. And so I know the components have been replaced both of those. I've had the components replacing the small one at least once every year, so I know they've been done multiple times for that, so.
Did we get anything from Varsity Sports since it only lasted 3 years? Well, there was no warranty on those as far as, okay.
No, yeah, I don't remember if we paid for the part that they sent us over Thanksgiving break or not, the little scoreboard. But, no.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Jerry, did you have anything else?
No, I was just gonna say, sadly, these are the kinds of things that as we look at budgetary constraints, and you still have to do the business part of our jobs in school. And, we're in a position now where we would be hard pressed to host varsity basketball games, varsity volleyball games right now, given the equipment we have. We could maybe do it cheaper, but we'd have to do something. So the question is, what do you do?
Recommendation to approve a resolution authorizing the negotiation, execution, and delivery of a government lease purchase agreement. May I have a motion? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Recommendation to approve out-of-state or overnight field trips for, all of these are FFA. Lakeland College Livestock Invite, March 20th through 21st in Mattoon, Illinois. Western Illinois Livestock Judging Contest, March 26th through 28th in Macomb, Illinois. Joliet Livestock Judging Invite, April 4th in Joliet, Illinois. Lincoln Land ICC Livestock Judging Invite, April 8th through 11th in Henry, Illinois. Last Chance Contest, April 24th through 25th in Columbus, Indiana. State Contest, May 1st through 2nd at Purdue University. State Convention, June 15th through 18th in Fishers, Indiana. May I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. We can move on to superintendent comments, Barry?
Mr. Traeger, do you have anything?
Lots of things. First, Vicki, thank you for giving me input last year about Grandparents' Day, because it was gonna be very easy to dismiss it, because it does take a lot of work and a lot of time to put together a nice Grandparents' Day. But after Vicki approached me and said, you know, it doesn't have to be fancy, we just wanna come visit the school. And that's basically what we did and what we're gonna be doing Wednesday night this week at 4:30, opening it up to the grandparents and their grandchildren to come back and visit the school and visit the book fair. So we're glad that it's filling the need for our grandparents, and we always want to welcome them to our building. Like I said, book fair is going on this week. It opened up today. I didn't hear any bad things about things getting stolen or fake $100 bills or anything like that. So it was a good day at the book fair. Teacher observations are winding down. I think I've got 4 left to go here, so hopefully get through those this week. And probably the most important detail to share is our kindergarten roundup was held last Thursday night. We welcomed 60 families and their students to kindergarten, the class of 2039. That sink in for just a minute. And it looked like a really good group. We're excited to see them, and 60 is about where we normally are for roundup time. So I feel good about that. We will gain some more between now and August, and how many, we'll just wait and see. But I was excited, and I want to thank Beth and our kindergarten staff, Kristen, just for all the work that they put into making that such a good night for everybody.
I also want to say that was a nice night. I was able to spend a little bit of time there. It was good to see incoming kindergartners. They seem to be excited about it. And so it was good to see that many people there. I agree. CNE, we probably don't need to talk to anybody. Sean and your team, high school, junior high?
Yeah, just a couple things. We're heading into the 4th quarter. I wonder how we got here. I say that every school year, but it goes so fast. We've got a lot done already. We finished our iLearn benchmark testing last week. All of our juniors took the SAT test. Laura, Mrs. Scott has already completed the majority of the scheduling for next year, has created the master schedule, and is already meeting with individual students. Mr. Mannon and Mrs. Weiss coordinate a March Madness here at the junior senior high, where our Cougar U's compete. They're for 3 free throw contests. And then we also do an attendance competition by grade level. So the grade levels of the highest attendance during those weeks also compete for prizes. So, yeah, and referral tracking. So we do not just free throws, but attendance and referral tracking. So that's good. And then this has been so far, other than planning for the spring, the best 2 weeks in athletics I've had, because we've had no event. But we're heading into the spring season where we'll schedule it and reschedule it and schedule it again due to weather. So the one event that we will need a ton of help with is on May 1st, and that is our See and Invite track. Then I will also have a fundraiser for Jenny Broom, one of our staff members, who is going through cancer treatments right now. So don't be surprised if we reach out to people for help. It doesn't matter if you want to rake a long jump pit or no, that's long jump. Or sell pork burgers. We're going to need lots of help that. So Friday, May 1st, if you have nothing on your calendar, please let us know.
Anything else from your team? Good deal, that's what we like. Transportation, Leah, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
And business, Kim?
Just a couple of projects updates. We will have a crane on site tomorrow, moving our old chiller and placing our new chiller. This week, pending weather, we should have our solar project starting on the CNE roof. And then our bus garage, we were hoping to break ground still sometime in March. It looks like that's getting pushed back to April as we have some permits that we don't have approved quite yet. We did have a successful sale of our bond refunding on March 5th. Final numbers are not yet known. We won't actually have the bank transaction happen until sometime in April. As soon as I do know those final numbers, I will update you all with those.
And Jamie, anything on grants?
Just a couple small things, still working through various amendments. Our first amendment request for the BISCA grant was approved, so we'll be able to extend the Gaggle program even after those funds are expended. So that's a win for us. I know that has been of a great benefit. Still working through other ones, and I foresee them going great. One side note, I was awarded a scholarship through IASBO to attend the annual meeting. That was kind of cool. I was 1 out of 25 through the state. And I know Kim won't toot her own horn, but she was also chosen to participate in the Leadership Academy, which is a huge thing too.
And do you guys know what the Gaggle program is? You guys remember that?
I was gonna ask, could you just briefly say what that is? I know what it is, but for folks visiting.
It basically monitors our.
Yeah, it monitors our student devices through Google and sends alerts to administration to kind of get ahead of threats, attempts, anything negative.
So that's really good.
Yeah.
And we have found it to be fairly helpful in getting ahead of some things. I think would be a fair statement.
Thank you.
I'd like to, at this point, give you a brief financial update. I think Kim's trying to get that up for you. So I'm gonna go over some things with you that I think are important for us as a school district and the community to recognize. I want to start with what happened before I was in charge, things that were done previously. So if we look at what we did, so if we go back to last spring, and I want to be clear, these are round numbers. I didn't want to get caught up in the weeds. Kim can give you literally the exact numbers. But these were reductions that were made going into the 26, 27 school year. Is that correct? 25, 26 school year, sorry. Yeah, gosh, we're in 26 now, aren't we? In admin reductions, there was $89,000. That would be the reductions plus the subtraction of that of the additional stipends that we're paying people to do those jobs, okay? So that's not that's the total amount. Teachers, we had 114,000 between teachers that left, who we didn't replace, and teachers who retired and came back at less than full days. We saved $24,000 in transportation by eliminating a shuttle and by consolidating the route. We had $58,000 in retirements, and again, those are not the total retire. That's not the total savings. That's the savings minus the people we added back in to do those jobs. So that is a total of $285,000 that was saved going into the school year. Go ahead. Sorry, I shouldn't say saved. Those are cost avoidances. So what happens next? So I asked Kim to work with DLGF, the Department of Local Government Finance, and I said, what if we don't do anything? What if we just stay the course, our expenses stay the same, and our enrollment stays the same? And basically what happens is when we would prepare the 2028 budget, we would go into deficit financing at the DLGF, Department of Local Government Finance, which is way in the weeds, which nobody really cares about. That's who approves our budgets. We couldn't do that because of deficit spending. Now we are preparing the 27 budget right now. So that means that in a year from now, basically 15 to, I suppose on the outside, 18 months, we have to have a plan for how we're gonna not go into deficit spending, okay? So there are some things that we've done since then, not since I took over, but this year. So reductions in place. So we have $2,500 in insurance savings from some employees that were, they switched positions and their insurance benefits have been reduced. We have administrative changes, $79,000 in that. And I'm telling you that is in no form, way, shape, or form can I see us replacing the position that I left. We could do some things to get some coverage, but I don't foresee us hiring another elementary principal. So however that shakes out, I don't foresee us doing that. I think that's a savings that can be absorbed. Superintendent compensation, I'm not going to tell you this for me, but I am going to tell you this. The school corporation pays none of my retirement and none of my insurance. And that's just basically where I am in my career. It has nothing to do with that. If I was 20 years younger, you would assuredly be paying it. But you're not now because I'm retired. So there's a $45,000 savings there. Then we have a $20,000 savings in utility that's anticipated. Again, that is a best guess estimate from the savings generated from the solar panels, which won't be in effect the whole year this year. That, you know, we may not get them online until fall, but we should save some money. So if you look at that, those numbers add up to 147,000. So now you go to the other side. So the impact of Senate Bill 1, which you all have heard about many times, in 2026, that cost us $266,000. And in 2027, that's going to cost us $270,000. That'll be income that we don't get, which gives us a $536,000 decrease in funding. So if you do your math and you look at what we saved, what we cost avoided, $285,000 in 2026, $147,000 in 2027. That's $432,000 in cost avoidance. And then if you do the math even further, you compare the cuts that Senate Bill 1 forced us to make minus the cuts we've already endured, and we're still $104,000. We'd still be over $104,000. Now, I want to be clear on that. There's one more set of information that I want you to hear me say. So we have these added concerns. Added factors. Senate Bill 1, I gave you the first 2 years. The third year, it's $330,000. So that's a significant loss. We also have a local income tax, which I am trying to get the correct information on this. It is $200,000. It will go away. The question is whether it goes away in 2028 or 2029. I came across some legislation today. Kim and I were trying to find it this afternoon. That says it stays on the record, on the rolls till 2029, but we have no guarantee of that staying. That is a county thing, and it's split among the county. And I know very little about it. In all honesty, I don't want to lie to you, but I know that it goes away in either 2028 or 2029. So I think the key thing for us is literally that's the position we're in, and we have to talk about next steps. And I'm not smart enough to be able to sit up here and tell you what I think those next steps should be. But what I can tell you is we have to continue to look at ways to be leaner and more efficient. I think, Kim, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we could figure out a way to get through 2027, that $104,000. I think we could figure that out. I think we could take money out of rainy day. I think we could borrow more money from the education fund. I think we could reduce spending, but that's really not the issue. The issue isn't next year. The issue is we have to keep doing that, because the next year we're looking at 300,000, and where those cuts would come from. And the sooner we do those things, the more ahead of the game we can get. So that leads to then those next discussions. So do you have any questions about what's presented today, what I presented in terms of finances?
So if for some reason that would leave us in 28, we're gonna lose just over $500,000.
Yep.
And we don't know about 2029 state yet, because the end of the 3 years is 2028.
Correct. And I was hoping, I will tell you that I knew that, I shouldn't say I was hoping. I had a feeling that nothing would happen during this legislative session. It didn't, which is not abnormal. They usually don't do money. But I'm hoping that enough government agencies, because this is not just a Central Mobile issue. This is cities, towns, schools all over the place. The operation side of the coin is getting really tight. And so if they don't, the other thing is in 2 years, if a new biennium comes and they address some of that issue, we may be better, but I'm not willing to, the state has not shown much taste for increasing spending on schools. That's been kind of a downward trend for the last at least 3 bienniums.
Have you heard anything in 2029 that they would take more money?
No, I've not heard that. I know, I can tell you that I'm on a superintendent Zoom call on Friday mornings, and I know that there's probably 60 to 70 superintendents in that call, and I know This is an ongoing conversation every week. People are trying to figure out what to do. There's a school not in our area, but not too far away, certainly north of Indy, which is doing away with transportation. They can't fund it. Do you have other questions for me on that?
We need to keep in mind that local income tax is not just us, that's anybody in our county, right?
It's, I was at West Noble today and I was meeting with him. I think it costs, please don't quote me on this because I don't know. He threw out a number. It's dependent on size. I think his number was like 300,000. So they're gonna lose even more. I don't know how much, East Noble loses, but it is countywide.
Any other questions?
So leading from that goes to one next step. There's something that I guess, again, I don't necessarily know that I even want to broach this subject, but I know we're going to run out of time fairly quickly. We tried a referendum, it was not successful. If we want to even think about doing a referendum, we have some deadlines that we have to meet. And I want to do some additional investigation on those deadlines and whether those are things that we can actually even get to with this late start. Kim, would you remind me, maybe we don't, would you remind me generically how much we spent on the referendum last time? I don't need exact numbers, but can you give us?
Yep, total was roughly $89,000.
So again, we certainly could not invest that kind of money in it, not sitting here financially. If we feel like we can do that, I shouldn't say that, we can, but that would just strain us even further. But I would like to have the board's blessing to either look into that or to take that off the table at some point in the near future. We don't have to decide that tonight.
Some of the legwork is done though.
Correct,
That was
absolutely.
that. So it wouldn't be 89,000 if we do it again.
We don't have to hire them, do we?
We do
No.
not. And so that consulting company alone was 40,000. The rest would have been legal fees, what we paid the day of the election, things like that.
We most assuredly would have legal fees again. We'd have, some signage costs. No, it would not be anywhere near that. And I, in good conscience, I couldn't even recommend that we would even pursue it if that's what we're gonna pay. But I guess I just would like some direction as to if the board wants me to pursue that, I'm gonna start sitting in on some referendum meetings that the state is hosting to figure out what it is we need to do. One thing that I will say is, that same Zoom call that I'm in, there are about, I've heard that between 50 and 70 school districts so far have said they're gonna file for file by August 1 for a November referendum, that is a huge number. 70 would be about a third of the districts in the state.
The only way to increase funding in Operation Your Education Fund is the referendum.
Pretty much, or increase enrollment a bunch.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, our enrollment didn't fall last year nearly as much. I mean, it was up 7, I believe. I think we were plus 7 kids, which sounds great, but that is one teacher, maybe.
I would say go ahead and look into it. And might as well get the ball rolling, then we can decide if we want to do it, but we might as well get the ball rolling on that just in case if we do. Since August 1st is the deadline to get that on the ballot for November. Because if for some reason we would not do it this November, then we have to wait 2 years for the next general election before we can do it again.
Yeah, is there a legal time we have to wait from a failed referendum to start a new one?
Like 2%, like.
Yeah, we have to get 2% of the voters in the district to say they would want to do it. And we have to do that. We have to do that before August 1. And I know there's some other legal things, but I don't know what those are because I haven't investigated that yet.
I would at least start trying to get those numbers to see if it's even a viable option.
Okay.
We've done a lot, like just as a publicly speaking, like we just keep cutting, and like the people that suffer from this are like the wages of people that are doing the job with our kids every single day. And that's the frustrating thing.
And the kids 20 years from now are gonna suffer too.
Yeah, so like a community needs to understand, like, this is the only way we can increase funding for the people that like spend more time with your kids than you do as a parent. Like, that's just the truth. Like, they spend more time with your kids than you do. I see my kid an hour a night sometimes when we come back home from practice. So investing in those people in the school is a very important thing. And we understand as a board, and we knew this going into it, that largely most first-time referendums are an education of our public. And we endured a lot of things to understand what it is, but like, this is where like the fork in the road is, right? Like, things are still gonna have to be cut, and things are still gonna have to be discussed as to those things, but like, the community has to make the decision one way or the other, and everyone has a right to vote one way or the other, but it needs to happen in a way that can help support the people that are doing the job. Like, they're not paid enough. We can't get the people we need to. We're scratching for coaches, teachers, for specialty areas. Like there is certain things that need to happen, certain people that maybe not need to be teachers, but we get them anyhow because we can't find other talent.
And to piggyback on what Jared's saying, if we're hiring people that spend more time with our kids than we do, I don't know that we want the lowest paid people to do that. I think we need to figure out a way to pay our kids. The people influence our children. We need to make that the best people we can.
Yeah, it's the bottom line. And the people in this room that have done it for years and years and years and well below what they should be paid. Administrators, teachers, custodial staff, bus drivers, like, people deserve to be paid what they're paid. And it's sad that there's some of the lowest paid people in the community.
So I will, leave this on the agenda and I will, come back in a month with more information. Unless, the next item then leads us to, does the board desire a work session, a public meeting where it's the only agenda item? And do we want to talk about other cost savings options at that point? You know that there's no secret out there about the possibility of consolidating the buildings. I don't think that's the elementaries. I don't think that's been a secret to anybody. If it has been, I don't know that they've been too involved. I don't necessarily want to have that discussion tonight. I don't feel like that's the right venue, but I do feel like at some point we have to at least talk about that. And I don't know whether the board desires a work session to do that, whether they just want to have a public meeting and do that in a week. I do think we have to give 72 hours notice.
Correct. If we would want to do something next Monday, for
So if you want to
example,
do something
Thursday.
Monday, we have to have a decision made by Thursday. No, Wednesday, because we have to publish it Thursday, right? Thursday, Friday, Monday. If you want to wait until the April board meeting, we can. But just remember then that everything that we do gets backed up a month. And if we decide we're going to do anything that requires staff movement, that puts teachers in a huge bind. And last year we were only moved 3 elementary to the high school, and we moved 2 from the primary to the elementary, and that just about caused consternation. And it probably, no question, I'm not sure it was absolutely great for the teachers. And so if we want to do that, I would prefer that we go faster rather than slower. But I'm up to discussion.
Right, we gotta talk about it with the public, so I say, my thoughts would be, start talking about, like, because hard decisions have to be made, and referendum still needs to happen, even with some of those hard decisions that need to be made. Like, it's not one or necessarily or the other. Cuts need to be made. We need more income. Either one of those probably doesn't solve any of our issues that we're gonna have through 2029. So the earlier and the more often we can talk about these things and try to be open and honest about what it is and isn't, try to get it ahead of it, we need to start now.
Jamie, can I ask, which would be most beneficial to the community to be able to share? A public
Public work
meeting
session.
or the work session?
Bearing in mind at a public work session, no decisions can be made. There can be no motions.
I feel like we got a lot of positive feedback from those work sessions, so I would like to maybe try and get something like that on the schedule if we're able to.
But I would say let's give a little bit more time.
Fair enough.
Could we do it the 13th of April? That gives a little bit of time here, because I think, Barry, at that time, you could have some more information maybe about the referendum that we could also talk about there a little bit too, just to see even if the community's interested. Because they're gonna be the essential ones voting on the referendum. You know, maybe that would help us make a decision on that, and
We could, but that means the 13th, that means you'd have to wait a whole nother, at least 72 hours after that to make any decisions.
well, that we have a board meeting on the 20th, so we could do something on the 20th then.
You're only leaving a month for things.
So then you're out of school on May 20th or whatever that is. I personally, I would almost, if you want to do that, I'd almost rather put me in the bind to try to get the information on the referendum quicker and let the community and the teachers, I don't want to do to the teachers what we did last year. I don't feel good about that. And so if it's up to me, I would rather come to you guys in a week and say, this is what we have, this is what I know. Let the public speak on the referendum. They all may come and say, no, this is a bad idea. We don't want to do this. If they all come and say, no, we have to do this, then I think that's another conversation. I guess I would rather, if we can, I would like to have that public session before spring break, maybe not next Monday, but certainly before spring break, and then we can.
And I think it matters how long you guys want, if you want to make decisions at that April board meeting as well, or if you wanted to do that separately. So like, if you guys wanted to meet next Monday, as long as we post by this Thursday, we're good. And then if you wanted to meet the following Monday to get in before spring break, it would be posting next Thursday. So that gives you guys weeks' time as well.
And the first one would be literally a work session, so we can gather public input.
Correct.
You can listen, you can have conversation, we just can't do any business, correct?
Correct.
That's what I think.
I think that's fair enough, if that's enough time for,
Well, here's the bottom line, is it's not gonna be enough time for anybody, no matter what we do, so, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather have it be me that's inconveniencing staff.
I don't want to be the curmudgeon. I'm out of the country next week, so I won't be able to attend. I think it should happen. I just won't be able to be there.
All right, you can read the minutes.
I'll absolutely love to watch the recording. If you guys record it, that's great. I'll watch it, but.
we're gonna have to discuss your time off after this.
Okay, I forgot to put in HR.
No, I have a request, and I don't know.
Some information I think we need though to make decisions educationally, how much money we want to save if we close Wolf Lake.
Yeah.
I think we need a dollar amount.
I think we can have that for you.
I do have a request for like a public meeting, like.
Yeah.
I don't like this dynamic. I don't feel like we're over anybody else. Like, could we set it up like in a Socratic way, like where it's like round table and we have discussions and like everyone has equal opportunity to speak and talk versus this formal. I don't like sitting above you guys. It likes to snot out of me. And in a conversation like that, I would rather have it be on the same footing and like a real conversation. We can sit on the floor, kumbaya, I don't care, but I don't want to do this. And where someone stands there and talks, like we can maybe have, like, as long as we have like some proceedings, and I can help give you some things like set up like a Socratic discussion and like some rules, like things like.
Are you
like-
talking for a public work session or all meetings?
Like a public work session.
Okay,
Like-
I'll
like-
verify
like-
with
like-
ISBA what our requirements and rules are, because I don't know if we can.
I'm just asking, like, there are like, can we do like one, non-negotiable, like 3 before me? Like, if I speak, 3 other people need to speak before I can speak again. It's like a talking stick kind of thing, like.
I'm a huge fan of the talking.
Yeah, like we know most of the people that come to these things and like this feels too formal, and this is like a thing that our community, we've got to figure out. Because our kid's gonna go here, God willing, my grandkids will go here, like those kinds of things we want to happen and establish, and like the decisions we make in the next few months are gonna significantly impact how that happens and plays out for the rest of the school.
So if we get legal approval to do that, I don't have any problem setting up roundtable, rotation around to different board members to have different questions posed at each roundtable to where we can have a
Socratic,
discussion.
that's Socratic where everybody's in the same
Yep.
circle. And everyone has.
So you want to hear everything.
Yeah, let's just talk it out, let's figure it out.
Microphones right huge.
And we can pass around. It's a request, and then you guys can all think I'm crazy, and that's fine, but that's.
I will actually be interested to hear if we get any feedback from people online, whether the microphones were a big help, because I do the city stuff online, and there are times that it's difficult to hear, so. Any other, I need to ask a question clarifying, do you want So you want a work session on a week from Monday, is that what I'm hearing? A week from tonight? Is that what I'm hearing? Or you want 2 weeks from tonight?
So we have 2 weeks till spring break.
I won't
It's-
be here.
It doesn't have to be the 23rd.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
We're
we
gonna
can
do
get
something
anything.
that
Yeah.
week.
It's something that we would find after Wednesday.
Right?
After
Wednesday or after, yeah.
What is next Thursday?
I'm
Jason,
out all week. I'm out all week.
are you back for the 30th?
I would back on Thursday, yes, ma'am.
So
Does that work?
If that's 30, that's fine.
No.
that's up to you guys, or we could do like next Thursday.
If we could do the 30th for Jason to be here.
That'd be over spring break. If that's your guys' spring break. That's not spring
Ours
break.
starts the 3rd.
Oh, you're the, okay.
Yeah, that's good
That's
Friday.
fine. Yep.
Okay, so
Do I dare ask how you're gonna get this information out to the people?
What do you mean? For the public work session?
She's posted in the paper and on social media.
yeah,
It'll be on the website, it'll be posted, it'll go on social media.
Is there any way you can send notes home to the children? I mean, parents
cost
that
of
don't
printing.
have a job where they use their email address, don't check them.
We'll send it out on school messenger,
I don't know.
and that
I
too.
can do that.
You can do it.
That'll work.
What time on the 30th?
We'll do 5 PM as normal.
5 p.m.
What
Is
what
that
do you
okay?
guys?
Sorry, assumptions.
At this location.
It's always public meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as getting it out there, like, we put it on
We can only do
social,
what we
we put it
can
where,
do.
yeah, we can only do what we can do. We can't afford mailers, we can't send all those things out. So,
People do still read the newspaper.
yeah, it's posted in the paper.
Get on that now.
Not many, but some do.
It's just public.
Small victory, small victory.
Did you want to go ahead and schedule an additional special session following that then, or were you going to wait until the April meeting?
I think we wait till that night, because,
Okay.
is that's not considered an action item for us to schedule.
Correct.
So we can schedule it even that night,
Yes.
if we feel like we have enough information.
Okay.
Are you guys in agreement with that, or? I mean, I suppose the other option is schedule it and cancel if we can do that too.
That's more.
We'll just schedule that.
Sorry, Jane.
No, thank you. I do appreciate the board's willingness to at least have these discussions and hear me out and know that it's a big deal. None of this is easy.
But it's gonna have to be a team effort to figure out how to save that $1 million. It can't be, not gonna be fun for anybody.
Anything else?
No, I think it's about enough for me, thanks.
Our meetings got longer with Barry.
I know, I feel bad.
6 to be done in 5 days.
Meeting is adjourned at 6:02.